Make her feel welcome. And whenever you're ready, dear, you may begin.
Some people excel at athletics where some do not. It is a matter of personal, God-given skill. Should physical education grades influence a high school student's GPA? A real problem, which has gone unnoticed, is the declining of students' GPAs caused by classes whose grades, in my opinion, should not affect or contribute to the GPA. What is a GPA? The Glossary of Education Reform's official definition of grade point averages, a number representing the average value of the accumulated final grades earned in a course over time. Now that we know what the GPA is, what do you even do with that information? The Penn State website teaches a simple way of calculating your own GPA in 3 steps. Identify the grade value for each completed course based on the grade you received. A equals 4, B equals 3, C equals 2, and D equals 1. Step 1. Calculate the grade points you earned for each completed course by multiplying the grade value by the course's credit value. Example, if you earned a B in the 3 credit course, you earned a grade point for that course would be 9. Step 2. Calculate your total grade points achieved by adding together the individual grade points. Step 3. Calculate your GPA by dividing your total grade points achieved by the total credits attempted. Now that we know what the grade point average is and we have a basic knowledge of it, now we can discuss the real topic. Should physical education grades contribute to a high school student's GPA? This topic is easily overlooked. And it's important that we get this knowledge out because students are missing opportunities that could have been easily avoided had they just avoided. Yep. You may be wondering, Julia, where's your support? Well, it's right here. Athleticism requires a certain ability that some do have and some do not have. This is unfair. Physical education classes require skills, some people do have and some do not. Other classes, just like PE, are band classes and choir classes where you need to have a certain skill that you may not be able to hone or improve upon. Each school differs in the way they approach grades, grade point average, contributors, and many other factors. At St. Paul, we include physical education grades in our grade point average. Fortunately, our PE classes are not based solely on a student's athletic abilities. Mrs. Ivy teaches multiple PE classes at St. Paul Lutheran High. In an interview, she stated that the PE grade is obviously a grade that everyone kind of just needs to have because it's part of our curriculum. And theoretically, it should be a grade that helps boost your GPA. Why? At St. Paul, PE classes also include test grades as well as participation grades. Mrs. Ivy did not bring about this way of grading because the PE teacher before had already done this, but she includes it in her curriculum. You may be thinking, this is all fine and dandy, but where is this going? Why does this even matter? As students, citizens, and humans, you have a right to make changes, set precedents, and stir a ton of trouble. In order to work for a higher GPA and in turn, better chances at making it into the school of your choice, we must work to do what we think is right. To restate my thesis, I'm asking, should physical education grades contribute to your GPA? Some students' GPAs are dropping due to grades in PE, which in most cases cannot be helped. Although I'm not arguing for the removal of PE from schools' curriculums, I hope I did raise awareness for the phenomenon of unnecessarily lower GPAs.
Thank you very much. Let's give her a round of applause. Thank you. Okay, Miss Julia, we're going to present you with a few questions based upon your topic, and you get to go ahead and select who it is that you'd like to call upon. So,
what is something that we can do now to affect PE classes that are put into your GPA? What's something that we can do to change that?
If it really bothers you, you can go to the head of the school and voice your opinions and tell them how you feel, so you can hopefully get it changed or at least have something done about it, or find ways to change the curriculum so that your athletic ability is not the only thing they judge you on.
Is it based off of the effort you put into it or the athletic ability?
Well, it depends on each different like school. Like in our PE classes, we have test grades and participation grades. And luckily here at St. Paul, they don't judge solely on your athletic ability. Otherwise, I would have awful grades in PE. But yeah, it honestly just depends from school to school and from class to class. So. Jeremiah.
Do you think it's unfair for someone that's athletic and maybe not as good at math to have their math grade hurt their GPA like it does, like you're saying, someone that's not very athletic, their PE hurts their grade?
Well, I didn't explain it very well in my speech, but basically I was trying to get at the point where there are skills where, or no, there are classes that are based on formulas and facts and like things that you can actually learn, and classes where like it's mostly based on skill, like band or PE. Luckily PE isn't like that here, but in other schools it may be. Like it's not necessarily fair because there's something you can learn in math to further your grade. Yes.
Do you think that some schools could put like PE or like those classes as an optional class? Not saying that you have to take it, but if like you're good in that area, you could take it and raise your GPA.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's why we have like PE grades, which have to do with like sports and stuff, and then athletic training, which is all about honing your like weight lifting like skills. Like I don't know if that answered your question, but yeah. Nathan.
Do you think that our school has a good policy about PE, or do you think it should change to a passing-failing system?
I think that currently we do have a great way of grading it because instead of basing it solely on your athletic ability, otherwise some people may pass and people may fail, they base it on your attendance and your participation instead of like your actual abilities, and also things you learn. Like we take tests based on each sport we go over in the classes, so yes, I think it's fair. Mrs. Brandt.
Couldn't the same argument be placed for any activities that are in the artistic, so art classes or music?
Yeah, I didn't say that very well in my speech, but yeah, since art classes are optional, actually no, just kidding, maybe not. I think it's great that Mr. Brandt judges not solely on your artistic ability, but also on just the effort you put forth in the class, and also, of course, your participation and attendance. So, yeah. Jesse.
But isn't another point of PE classes to help improve your skills as far as like learning new sports and
I
being
think
able to participate?
all classes are generally there to improve your knowledge and skills and general ability to comprehend and participate in each like thing placed in front of you. But hold on, can you restate that?
Like isn't the point of a PE class to also help you learn how to do the sport and participate better?
Well,
to like improve the skills that you don't have?
yes, but if you're like just awful, absolutely awful at sports like me, and there's just no hope for you, if it were based solely on that, it would be a little unfair if like your grade depended on your athletic abilities. Because of course you can always improve, but there's only so much you can do.
Okay, I'm going to call this questioning section to an end. Let's give her a round of applause. Thank you, Julia.